here we are again, Shannon. I'm gonna call him Shannon. I'm not calling him Unc. No. Here we go again, Shannon. Once again, we here, and Shannon Sharpe, he he wildin'. He wildin'. We gonna get into it. I'm gonna drop a question in the poll. Does Shannon Sharpe deserve this? Shannon Sharpe deserve this? Because many people online are saying he deserves this. And we're gonna get into this. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Fitz. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. If at any time you find any value within this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's get into it. All right. Shannon Sharpe, Unc, Club Shay Shay, that's Shannon Sharpe. The one last year, 2024, had a viral video with Cat Williams because I guess Cat Williams was exposing the industry. And it seems like since that video, Shannon Sharpe cannot stay out the news. Now this time around, Shannon Sharpe done caught himself with what Dr. Umar refers to as a snow bunny. All right, Shannon Sharpe done caught himself with what Dr. Umar considers a snow bunny. Not my words, Dr. Umar Johnson's words. Shannon Sharpe is with a snow bunny, and this snow bunny, according to Dr. Umar, is 20 years old. And Shannon Sharpe is now, I guess, being sued for $50 million. We got to talk about this. We have to talk about this. All right, so when I first heard this story, I said, this has got to be fake. We got Bob in the building. What up, Bob? This has got to be fake. And the reason why is because you cannot have this many scandals in this short amount of time as a grown man in your 50s. You just can't. I believe it's like, I didn't even believe it at first. But then I start looking into it and I see, no, this is real. Shannon Sharpe, a man in his 50s, is laying pipe on a 20-year-old. Laying pipe on a 20-year-old. We got Bob in the building. What up, Bob? What up? Shannon Sharpe laying pipe on a 20-year-old, and he's in his 50s. And I see a lot of people, particularly women online, saying Shannon Sharpe deserves this. They're saying Shannon Sharpe deserves this. And the reason he deserves this is because he's too old to be moving like this. He's too old to be moving like this. By 50, you should have things figured out. This is what they're saying. And, right, someone said he was warned by Monique and Cat Williams. Right, I believe that. Because it's like this. If you in your 20s, 30s, 40s maybe, and you moving like that, okay. But if you are Shannon Sharpe, you have millions and millions of dollars, one of the most popular podcasts out there, and you just laying pipe with apparently a woman he met in the gym when he was trying to build up them strong ass muscles right here and do all of this stuff. He met her at the gym. And he said, hey, 20-year-old, I'm 50 something. You want to go back to, and let's do, and not only was he laying pipe, all right? Not only was Shannon Sharpe laying pipe, but if you go and read the text messages that he released, they was role playing. She was talking about put a big black baby in me. She was like, I don't even remember all of that. All right, I'm not even going to front. I don't want to make nothing up, but it was crazy. It was crazy. Now, some of you may be wondering why I'm even deciding to talk about this. The reason I'm deciding to talk about this is because I think there's a lesson to be learned, which is that just because you have money does not mean that you develop as a person as you get older. You still have to put the work in. Because here's my thing. I don't agree that Shannon Sharpe deserves this, But we have to hold people accountable. Just like as men, we get on the internet and say, we got to hold women accountable when they dress a certain way and they go out and act like this and behave like this. Or we got to hold black people accountable when they walk around sagging and walk around doing this and saying this and they don't want to take accountability. We have to hold people that got money accountable. You cannot go out and you got money and you just laying pipe on some random 20-year-old. You ain't doing no background checks. You ain't vetting nobody. You ain't having nobody sign no NDAs. You sitting here saying the wildest things through text messages. You opening yourself up for so much liability. And at Shannon Sharpe's age, with him being, and here's the thing, he didn't just fall out of the sky with money. He was in the NFL. He knows how the game goes. He was a professional football player before this. He was a professional football player before this, so he knows the ropes. He knows the ropes. Shannon Sharpe knows the ropes. Shannon Sharpe done been there. He was up in Colorado laying pipe down on them women back in the 90s and 2000s. He been here before. So you can't tell me he hasn't had an opportunity to get his act together. We got some comments. We said, no, we need Shannon Sharpe. We need to back Shannon Sharpe. Listen, I'm not even saying I'm against Shannon Sharpe, but what I am saying is that this is a lesson for us to learn from. You can't keep moving like this. You cannot keep. Wasn't it just like within the last year that we got a recording of him on Instagram? Hey, Michelle. Oh, they're right there, baby. Right there, Michelle. We just been through this. Every year now, Shannon Sharpe coming out with some type of sex tape, it seemed like, or some type of inappropriate thing. Every single year, we learn more about Shannon Sharpe dick. Who on his dick? We learn who he's sleeping with. We learn, like, I'm tired of it. Can you just get back to giving softball interviews? Can you just get back to giving softball interviews? For real. Can you just get back to that? Because every time I turn the news on, Shannon Sharpe doing something crazy sexually. All right, someone said he didn't commit a crime, let him live. I agree he didn't commit a crime, but what I want to do is I want to try to learn a lesson from this, and I think that it's important because we don't usually get to see it on a grand stage like this because regular men are going through this. Regular men are going through, they got the life, they got the money, they've attained success, and now they're in their 40s and their 50s, and they making mistakes that they should have learned from in their 20s and 30s. He should have learned from this in his 20s and 30s. And I'm not saying he's 50-something so he can never be with a 20-year-old or 30-year-old. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he got to go get no 70-year-old coochie. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you got to move smoother. You got to operate with a certain level of finesse, with a certain level of, I don't know, street smarts. You can't just be picking up random 20-year-olds, sleeping with them, saying the type of crazy stuff you're saying, and you not having nobody sign no paperwork. You not making sure that it's absolutely clear that it's consensual, meaning you signing some type of document saying we doing this and we doing that. Maybe he did. Maybe there's some paperwork, but from what I'm hearing, he's talking about settling. I saw something with $10 million. I saw a statement today saying that he's going to take a step back from ESPN and he'll return when football season starts. So this isn't a good look for his brand. With as much that he has going on, it doesn't matter if it was a crime or not. It matters about your public image. And with him being a brand, a personal brand, and everything built around his personal brand, you have to move smoother. You have to move smoother. And this is one of the things that I teach when I teach entrepreneurs how to create content and connect with their brand. There are some content creators, they want to be more conservative, meaning they don't want their family life out there. They don't want to take too much risk. They don't want to make things that are too edgy. They don't want to make things that are pushing the boundaries. They want to play it safe. That's cool. We need a strategy for that then. With Shannon Sharpe, I think his strategy or his brand was centered around being real, keeping it real. But at the same time, you know, when you're hit with allegations like this and people don't know whether you did it or not, That's a completely different thing. And so you have to protect the brand. And especially, and I'm going to talk to black men right now, especially black men. Listen, I understand that a lot of us grew up wanting to live that lifestyle of, I'ma just hit whoever I hit. I ain't gonna commit to nobody. I'ma get it how I live it. We can't be doing that. We can't be making those same mistakes. Let me read some comments. Brothers need to be careful out there. That's it. Be successful and keep it conservative. Right. Got comment. He's a good role model because he's rich and famous. We need more rich black people. I do think we need more rich black people, but I think being rich is different than being a role model. I definitely think being rich is different than being a role model, because a role model is someone that you look up for. I think like it's yes, it's money. So maybe it's money, but you can't really replicate what Shannon Sharpe did. Most people aren't going to go to the NFL and do what he did. So going to be hard to do that. As a role model, when we talk about how he's living his life, he's in his 50s. He's not married. He obviously is out here with all these different women. He's still making these same mistakes in his 50s. From a financial perspective, yeah, but anything else outside of that, I don't really see the role model part. Yeah, Ben Carson, I would say, a good role model. Ben Carson, a good role model, but I think Ben Carson, that can be replicated a little more easily. I think Ben Carson tries to be more of a role model and tries to talk more about morality and talk about thoughts and ideas. I don't really see Shannon Sharpe talking about that. Most of his stuff is entertainment. And so when I see an entertainer that's mainly focused on entertainment and they're not having the big discussions, then I look at them as that. You can't be a role model to me when you're just focused on entertainment. You can't just give me entertainment and me say that you're a good role model. You have to give me something outside of entertainment. And I don't really see that from Shannon Sharpe. I don't see Shannon Sharpe giving us anything outside of entertainment that is a good a role model worthy. Now, I'm not saying he's not a good role model to his children, because they may know him more personally. They likely know him more personally. I'm not saying he can't be a good role model to people that personally know him, but to the general public, to somebody that is just looking from the outside in, what are they modeling? What are they doing? Go get your money? Okay. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows to get money. Everyone's trying to get money for the most part. What are you like? Okay, what do I let me model after you and your wife, but you don't have one. Let me model after, how you interact with politics. You don't really get into that. Let me model how you are with your children. We don't really see that. So I don't know. I don't know that he'd be a good role model. And maybe it's because I'm actually a father and I'm a husband and I do this day in and day out, and he's not somebody that I would necessarily go get relationship advice from or counseling. He's not somebody that I would go and, I can't say get fatherhood advice from because I don't know him as a father, so I'm not going to speak to that. But there's nothing that I would really go to him for. Maybe some entrepreneurship stuff, maybe content creation wise and how he sets up his operation from that perspective. But I don't know about the mentorship. Let me read some of these votes. Oh, wow. So I asked in the poll, does Shannon Sharpe deserve this? 60% of people so far that have answered have said yes. 60% of people. 60% of people in the poll have said, yes, Shannon Sharpe deserves this. We got a question. Someone said, return property back to their original owners. Return white property back to their original owners. Someone asked, have you realized that it's only our race that sort of shame intellect? I have realized that. I have realized it. And, I think there's multiple reasons for that. I think one of the reasons, and there's a great book. Let me see if I got that book real quick on me. I think I might got it for y'all. Nah, it's on my bookshelf. There's a book called I think it's called Blackface White Mask, Blackface White Mask by Frantz Fanon, I believe. Great book on race and why it is we kind of look at black people that go and get an education, or black people that decide to step outside of the culture and quote unquote sell out, why it is that we're looked at in a certain way. And I think a lot of it comes from ignorance. A lot of it comes from not understanding, that a lot of the things that we were taught about what it means to be black is just ignorance. A lot of the things that we're taught about what it means to be black is ignorant. For example, growing up, I was taught I spoke white. I was taught, someone told me that I'm not really black because I've never been to jail. Now, what I will say is this. I think that with the intellect, we have to be careful to not put people down and not make it seem like they're not valuable because they didn't get an education, or that their opinion doesn't matter, or that we're better than people. Or we can't go around trying to save everybody and push our beliefs. It's almost like it can operate like a religion. You go around telling people God this, Jesus that. People like, man, get the hell out of here. I'm just trying to eat some nachos. That's how intellect can come off in the black community. We got to interject ourselves in every conversation and show our intellect, show our intelligence. Be the center of attention. Try to prove a point and try to be the smartest person in the room. No. Like for me personally, I'm a more reserved person when I get around people. I like to listen. And when people ask me a question, then I go in. But I've stopped trying to give advice that was not asked for. I've stopped trying to interject and give my opinion on everything. And maybe that's why I created this channel. All right, maybe I created this channel as a little outlet, because in real life, when you show that intellect, you have to be very careful, because people do not like it. Unless you're helping them or unless they ask for it, they don't like it. They don't like it. And yes, I do think within our culture it's shunned. I do think that, and as an example, right? As an example, I have children. You'd be surprised at how many people get offended when you talk about how you're raising your children to do certain things, like, oh, I'm teaching them how to read, or I'm teaching them how to do math, and you teach it, or you say like you have standards for them. That's what I'm trying to say. When you say that you have standards for your children and you make them do reading, like I hear other parents, well, I got to give my children a tablet. I got to give my children the electronics and give them this and give them that, or else this. And I'm like, no, you're just being lazy. You're just being lazy. How much are they reading? How much do they know math? Do they know those things? How much time are you spending on this and that? And when you try to break it down and explain the studies and what the research says, and they should be spending this amount of time doing this, they don't want to hear it. And so I've stopped trying to push the intellect on people. I do what I can within my circle, within the group of people that know me and value my opinion and perspective. But everyone else, it's not really, someone said I had a jaded perspective. It's not a jaded perspective because it's lived experience. These are things that I actually experience, right? I'm not going to lose a relationship by trying to be the smartest person ever or trying to prove my point and stuff like that. Because even before I went to college and got my degrees and all that, I loved to argue. I remember arguing with people about religion for like 3 or 4 hours straight. And there'd be like 4 or 5 different people that'd be jumping in the argument. Just, I smack that one with my argument. Somebody else come in and get out of here. How the reindeer get from Africa to over here. Get up at it. I'm just laying it down. Laying it down. And people don't like that. People don't like it. And so I realized, particularly if you're the only one in your group, like you grew up with people and stuff like that, and you're the only one that went to college, you're the only one that quote unquote made it, it can be like you're an outsider sometimes. And so I just try to make people feel comfortable. If I don't have to do something or prove a point, I won't. So that's how I navigate it. But with the Shannon Sharpe situation, I think he could use a little more intellect when it comes to how he's moving. I think he could use a little more intellect with how he's moving, because I don't know if he has someone around him. And this is another thing, as black men in particular, we have to get well-meaning people around us who can check us when we're not moving correctly. I can guarantee you, he does not have any other men around him that are checking him and saying, hey, look, this might not be a good idea. And if they are, they might be yes men. If he does, there might not be, they might be yes men. Yeah, and he was warned though. He was warned, and he did not heed those warnings. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. He wanted to go to the gym, and instead of lifting weights, he wanted to lift his thing and get up in some young coochie, some 20-year-old coochie. Right, Shannon is nearly 60. Victorious one says, Shannon is nearly 60. No excuses. No excuses. No excuses. Shannon Sharpe is not getting any excuses, because here's another thing that I don't think people are thinking about as well, right? Shannon Sharpe, he does not just represent himself. He represents black men in the public eye. Let me explain what I mean. No, we're not all a new monolith. We're not monolithic. We got Victorious One said, I got a new subscriber. Thank you very much. But we are not a monolith. But in the public eye, Shannon Sharpe is a representation of black men. And when he moves like this, all it does is further some of the stereotypes against black men. And when Shannon Sharpe gets online and he's for the culture and he's talking about the culture and he's become such a prominent figure within the culture, when he moves a certain way, there are young kids looking at him. There are young black men that didn't have fathers looking at him. There are businesses looking at him. And guess what? Now that's going to reflect on regular black people that are not living that lifestyle, that don't want to live that lifestyle. And now we have to sit here and talk about Shannon Sharpe. Why? Why? Because I don't think a lot of black men know this, but when you are successful as a black man, you are held to a higher standard in terms of expectation from the general public. Now, that don't mean that people don't feel a certain way privately, but I'll give you an example. When Shannon Sharpe had that video or that sound bite released of him sleeping with that woman, having sex with that woman, whatever you want to call it, laying pipe, when that video released and all that happened, what did we hear? We heard an outcry of black people talking about, yeah, good job, he laying it down. He laying it down. But what were businesses thinking? What were other? That's unprofessional. They looking at us a certain way. They looking at us a certain way. And guess what happened this time? ESPN is distancing themselves from Shannon Sharpe. They are distancing themselves from Shannon Sharpe. They're distancing themselves from Shannon Sharpe because they understand that the white community takes these allegations very seriously and it could hurt their bottom line. Plus, there is a large demand for scapegoating black men right now because of what we have going on with the Carmelo Anthony case that happened in Frisco, Texas, because of all of the Black Lives Matter movements that have been going on or that were going on. They've kind of fizzled out because they're not looking really good. These are things that boil up and add up. And now we're seeing a situation where Shannon Sharpe is going down. I don't know if he's going to be able to recover from this. Let me know in the chat. Do you think Shannon Sharpe is going to be able to recover from this? I don't see it. Unless there's something that comes out saying that this woman completely lied and something like that, or there's proof that she's completely lying, I don't know that he's going to be able to come back from this. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to come back from this. Because she's asking for $50 million. He's saying he's going to, I guess, from the latest report, he might settle for $10 million. That's still a lot of money. Neighborhood therapist said he will be fine. He will be untouched. Maybe. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But what I can tell you is that with these type of allegations, it's very hard to come back from them, even if you're innocent. Even if you're innocent. Even if you're innocent, it's very hard to come back from those. It's very hard to come back from these type of allegations. What do y'all think of this situation in totality? I know we got some comments saying he won't be able to come back. He'll be good. I really want to know what y'all think. And here's another thing while y'all write those comments. I'll say this. I think moving forward, Shannon Sharpe really needs to look at getting a wife. I think he needs to look at getting a wife. I think he out here too much. He obviously don't have dick discipline, as they call it. He off the rail. I think he need a strong black woman in his life. Maybe in their 30s, young enough but old enough, that type of deal. And he need a wife that can help him lay some of these things out. Maybe he's trying to get some love from, he had a bad relationship with his mom. I don't know. I've heard him talk about his grandparents and how they raised him for some part of his life. I don't know if his mom was in his life. Maybe he's always searching for that feminine energy. I'm not sure. But it's clear he a womanizer. He a womanizer. He's sleeping with different women all the time in his 50s. And not only that, like if you was keeping it under wraps, we don't know about nothing, you're not getting in trouble, go back out there. See that? Got the kids trying to come in here. He in his 50s, and he's keeping it under wraps. It might be all good because we wouldn't know about it. But he's operating in such a way to where he's making his personal life everyone else's business, and it's not a good look. And I think if he got a wife, he might be able to reel some of that in. He might be able to reel some of that in. I think right now, that's what he might need. He need a strong woman in his life that can help him solve some of these issues that he's having. He needs somebody that's still young enough that could put it down, but he needs somebody old enough to where they got their stuff together. He needs somebody old enough to where they got their stuff together. Because I'm going to tell you this. If he's 66 doing this, I don't know. He like 55, 56 right now. Let 66 come around. He's still doing this, still coming out with scandals. Because here's the dangerous part. It only takes one. It only takes one of these scandals to tear you down. It only takes one of these scandals to tear you down. And when you are a man that's trying to build an empire, you need stability. When you are a man that's trying to build an empire and you have shown time and time and time again that you cannot handle the single life, laying pipe to different women. You can't handle it. Some people can, you can't handle it. When you've shown time and time again you can't handle it, you just need to go on and get you a wife, or you need to just stay away from women, because you going to have these women landing you in jail one day. You going to have these women making you go crazy. You going to lose all your money. You going to lose the sponsorships. You going to lose everything that you've been working for because you can't control yourself around women. You are going to lose everything you working for because you can't control yourself around women. That's why I think he just needs to go on and get a wife. Go on and get you a wife. Go down to Mississippi. Yep. Go down to Mississippi. I think he said that's where he grew up. Go down to Mississippi. Get you a good 30, 35-year-old wife. And go on and do it. Go on and do it. Just go on and tie the knot, get you a wife. Right. Von Miller says, Shannon been in the game too long not to see this play a mile away. Exactly. How are you in your 50s? You've been an NFL Super Bowl winner and you don't see this play? You don't see this play. You've been famous longer than I've been alive. And you don't see this play? I could see this play. And now she asking $50 million. $50 million. Because you wanted some coochie. $50 million because you wanted some coochie. And I don't know. Help me out with this, y'all. Help me out with this. This girl is apparently like 19, 20 years old. How does she even get access to him? Like, why are you even going to a regular gym with regular people? I don't even get it. You need to just go to the gym by yourself. You need to build a gym in your house. You need to lift them weights in your house. You need to get a Peloton. Whatever you got to do, stay away from women for like 3 to 6 months. That's what you need to do. You need to stay away from women for 3 to 6 months. You need to go meditate in some mountain in China or Japan or something like that. Come back and keep pushing forward. But this ain't it. Because we know way too much about your sexual life over the last year or two, and it's going downhill. People saying he untouchable because he did a couple good interviews. Nah. When we start getting into these sexual allegations, and I haven't seen anything saying if you've been a victim of Shannon Sharpe, come forward, we may start seeing that. There may be more people coming forward as a money grab. Oh, back in 1997, Shannon Sharpe unked me down back in 1997, something like that. She said she probably threw it at Shannon. Yep, she threw it at Shannon. She did something. She threw a Super Bowl touchdown pass at Shannon. He caught it. Give me some 20-year-old coochie. He caught it. Crazy. Gotta move smarter. You have got to move smarter. And this is why I say you need to always be working on yourself, not just physically, but mentally as well. Not just physically, but mentally as well. Because, and a great point that Vaughn made, he should have seen this play a mile away. Dan said it could be a shakedown, but that's occupational hazard, right? And I'm gonna err on the side of it might be a money grab. It might be a money grab. We don't know. It could be a money grab. And something could have happened. But here's the thing. Is Shannon Sharpe going to learn from this? Are the black men and men in general that see this going to learn from this? Because this is not a Shannon Sharpe problem. This is a man problem. As men, what do we know? Our most financial success comes between our 40s and 60s. That's when we're at our financial peak, between our 40s and 60s. That's when we start getting money and life starts hitting and all the things we've been working to starts falling into place. Everything that we've been working for starts falling into place between our 40s and our 60s, and everything good. We got a little more wisdom. Things that used to get us emotional aren't getting us emotional anymore. And so it can be easy to take that foot off the pedal. We done lived long enough to say, I was overreacting about that. It's not as risky. It can be easy to start looking at life with regret and just be like YOLO and start doing stuff. It can be easy to think that everything's good now, and that's when you start slipping. Maybe Shannon Sharpe just slipped up. Maybe I'm being too hard on him. Maybe he slipped up. Bond said, I believe 100% money grab. Hate to see Unc lose that $100 million contract. And he might. He might. ESPN is already distancing themselves from him. We don't know how this is going to play out. And on top of that, and I'm going to say this, I think Shannon Sharpe forgot he was a black man. I think Shannon Sharpe forgot he was a black man. Let me explain. See, we don't usually hear about these type of things when it comes to rich people until years and years later. Shannon Sharpe, he's been famous, but he hasn't been the Shannon Sharpe famous we know now. And when I say he forgot he was a black man, I'm not making it about race in the sense of racism and stuff like that. What I'm saying is he forgot that when it comes to black men and white women, a lot of black men, unconsciously, they thirst for the approval of white women. And that is what Shannon Sharpe, I believe, got caught in. Because you're not going to convince me that some 19 or 20-year-old was able to just woo over Shannon Sharpe, who's in the NFL, won Super Bowls and stuff like that, who's been famous for I don't know how long, who has millions of dollars and has seen levels of success most people have never reached. You're not going to convince me that this was something that, I don't want to say this. You're not going to convince me that this was something that is happening because he was in his right state of mind. Someone said, bro, he just likes hot women. Maybe he just likes hot women, but when you at his level like that and you got the type of money he making, you can have any woman that you want. You can have any woman that you want. You can be as particular as you want. You can say, hey, sign this NDA. Make sure that this is consent. You can do all of that. And especially this. Here's another point. Shannon Sharpe was a football player. He probably talks to coaches. He knows football, college football players. What are those coaches telling those college football players? You need to wrap it up. You need to make sure if you get married or you get with a chick, she sign a prenup. You need to make sure that you get in consent and that it's known as consent. These are things college football players are learning. You're not going to tell me that Shannon Sharpe at 50-something years old, millions and millions of dollars, is not aware of this, is not aware that this is something that women are doing when they see him as a target. Shannon Sharpe wanted some coochie and he wasn't thinking straight. And I believe that he was thirsting. He was thirsting for some turkey mayonnaise sandwich coochie. I don't know. He was thirsting for some what do they make? Not the potato salad. Is it the dry potato salad? I don't know. I don't know. He was thirsting. He was thirsty. He got a drink. And now he may lose millions of dollars. I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it. And again, I don't think he deserves it. I don't think he deserves it. But what I will say is this. As men, we have to be accountable and we have to move a certain way. We're no longer in the days where you could just show up, lay some pipe, and go on about your way. We are in the days where if you gonna lay some pipe, you need to make sure you get some permits for that pipe. If you gonna lay some pipe, you need some permits. All right? And the permit is, I need a video of you. If I got millions of dollars, I need a video of you right before I'm about to put it in. Hey, you still good, right? Everything good, right? This is consensual, right? That's what I need. And go get you a wife, and then you won't have to worry about that. Go get you a wife, and then just get you a wife, lay some pipe 2-3 times a week, go on ESPN, talk your stuff, go on Club Shay Shay, go on Nightclub and talk with Ocho, do what you do, get you some box or whatever from your wife and go on about your business. But this ain't your lifestyle. This ain't your lifestyle. Like me, I don't drink alcohol. Never have really, never will. I don't drink it. It's not for me. It's not my lifestyle. There are some things that some people just shouldn't do. There are some things that some people just shouldn't do. And for Shannon Sharpe, it seems like that thing is just getting coochie. He shouldn't be out here just getting coochie. Shouldn't be happening. Let me read some of these comments. Von Miller said, Unc wanted some potato salad with raisins. Yep. He wanted some potato salads with raisins, and them was some expensive raisins. Them was some expensive raisins. Them was some expensive raisins. Wanted some potato salad with raisins. Now, there's some potato salad. I've had potato salad with grapes in it. Potato salad with grapes in it, pretty good. You get you some of them pretzel crackers. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now it's not my favorite. It's not jerk chicken. It's not that, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, so we got more voters. More votes came in for the poll. 53% says Shannon Sharpe does not deserve this. 47% says yes. I'm interested, the people that think Shannon Sharpe does deserve this, let me know why in the comments. Dan said, I am enjoying your stream. I appreciate it. Thank you. It took me time to be able to come on live and just chop it up. I appreciate the subscription. Appreciate it. Appreciate your subscription. For the people that believe Shannon Sharpe deserves this, let me know why. Because we got 47%. It's almost 50-50. So 47%. Why do you believe Shannon Sharpe deserves this? Is it because he's too old to be making these mistakes? Is it because you believe he actually did this? Do you think if you were in this situation that you would want to lose millions of dollars because you laid pipe on somebody and they want to take your money? What do you think? Like if this was you and it only had to be millions of dollars with your income, let's say you make 100K, would you want somebody like, hey, give me 10K because you laid some pipe and I could kind of get away with, getting some money out of you? If you were in this situation, would you want it to happen to you relative to your income? Because I'm going to let you know right now, when I was out there laying pipe, I was not thinking about none of this stuff. I was laying pipe. And that's exactly how Shannon Sharpe thinking. I was out there laying pipe and I was a plumber. And Shannon Sharpe acting like a plumber. Von Miller said he could have went after someone like Nicole Murphy. She would have let him hit and wouldn't sue for 50 million. Yeah, you have to know, man. You have to be, like I'm telling you, there's some down women out here where you lay some pipe, you make a couple jokes, maybe you buy some dinner, you get some pizza rolls, and you go about your business. And then there's other women, you got to buy him a purse, you got to buy him this, you got to buy him that. We're not talking about your girl, we just talking about a regular girl. You got to find you the ones where they got their life together. They not looking for no money. They not looking for no come up. She's 20 years old. You her golden ticket, bruh. You her golden ticket. I'm going to say this. There are some men where if they had the opportunity to have like Shannon Sharpe bump into him the wrong way and dislocate their shoulder or get in an altercation and fight so they could hit him, they would do that to try to get some money. You got to look at it the same way with women. You have a 20-year-old that probably doesn't have a lot of money. I don't know her background. Maybe her parents have money. Maybe she's some ultra-rich millionaire already and just didn't like the pipe. I don't know. But she's 20 years old. You have to be aware. You have to be aware. You got to be aware. It's just that simple. And if he's not aware now, like if in a year, if he's still doing this same thing, I'm done. I don't have any more patience. I don't have patience for this. I don't think he deserves it again, but at the same time, gotta move smarter. You have got to move smarter. You could not go around laying pipe with your net worth like you some college kid and you just laying pipe to lay pipe. No, when you lay pipe, you need to get a permit. You need to make sure you inspect everything, and you need to make sure that the city approve it. You need to make sure the water running good. You need to make sure all of that. You need to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple, sextuplet. I don't know what comes next. You need to check and make sure everything. You need references. Give me some references. Have you ever tried to extort somebody before? Let me see the last person that you slept with. What do they look like? Who are they? I need to message them. That's the type of detail he should be going in. Or he just need to wear a disguise. He just need to wear a disguise, not let them know he's Shannon Sharpe, and just do it old school and get some box based off of his looks and his game. He need to put a fake mustache on or something like that so they don't know it's him, and he just need to go get boxed like that. He just need to do that. Or get a wife. Just get a wife, Shannon, okay? I'm not going to say it again. But if y'all don't have anything else in the comments to add to this, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. If y'all don't have anything else in the comment section, I'm going to get off this stream. If you are in the stream right now, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everyone who's already hit the subscription button or the subscribe button. And thank you for all the comments. Thank you for the conversation. And appreciate y'all.